New game releases. It is January and we have a bunch of new games coming out this month. We actually, like a typical January, we don't have a ton of new games coming out. There are a few worth mentioning across both PS4 and PS5. So we have in this video six games coming out in January and one free game as well on the PlayStation Store. These are all PlayStation games. They're not PC, Switch, Xbox. They're just console PlayStation games. Let's dive in and take a look at them all. Hey, if you're a new viewer of the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I make new videos about PlayStation every single day on the channel, so hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date. Today we're taking a look at all the new games coming to the PlayStation ecosystem in January. These are both PS4 and PS5 games. We have 6 games to look at, plus one free game. Let's have a look at them all. First game is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Full Complete Edition. This is a 2D beat-em-up style game that actually came out a number of years ago on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and then got delisted off the store randomly and was just unplayable and unpurchasable for a number of years until now, when it's coming back out again on last gen, I guess, PS4 and Xbox One for some strange reason. I personally didn't get the hype over this game when it launched back in the day, but I know a lot of people really love this franchise, the movies and the comic books, and it has some appeal to them. Like I said, it's a beat 'em up game. If you're into Scott Pilgrim, obviously you're going to enjoy it. Yeah, and this is coming out on the 14th of January. Also on the 14th of January, MXGP 20 is coming out. Now this game, you might be saying, well Josh, this is already out on the PlayStation 4. And you MXGP 20 fans would be correct. This is actually the PlayStation 5 version of the game coming to the PS5 on the 14th of January. MXGP, for those who are uninitiated, is a motocross Grand Prix game for the year 2020. It's essentially motocross. These are an annualized release. I'm not into these games personally, but I'm sure there's someone out there who is looking forward to playing this on their PlayStation 5. Hitman 3 also comes out on January 20th. This is probably the biggest one for the month. Now, we don't know what the situation is with the trophy list on this game, whether they're going to screw it up again for a third time like they have in Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 on the PS4. Hitman 3 is the completion to the trilogy. If you're not familiar with Hitman, they are sort of these open world games where you can complete a series of objectives or hits in any way you want. Disguise yourself, you can poison someone, kill. There's like an endless number of ways that you can take out your assassin, or you can assassinate your target essentially. And it's that sort of creative freedom to be the assassin you want to be that makes these games so special and dynamic. Hitman 3, it's the culmination of this trilogy of Hitman games that have released. Who knows what's going to happen after this one, going into PS5. Whether or not this will be ported to PS5 or have a free upgrade to PS5, I couldn't find information about that, so don't know. But for the moment, it's a PS4 and Xbox One game. Ride 4 is also coming to the PlayStation 4 on January 21st. Interestingly, another motorcycle game. This one is focused more on motorcycle racing rather than motocross racing. So this is road or street racing motorcycles. I actually played the original Ride. You know what's interesting about Ride as a franchise? Just as a bit of an aside, I didn't mean that to rhyme. Ride 1 came out on the PlayStation 4. Ride 2 came out on the PlayStation 4. Ride 3 came out on the PlayStation 4. And now Ride 4 is coming out on the PlayStation 4. These guys have released 4 games. They're not like a numbered title like 2019, 18, they're just numbered games they've released all on the PlayStation 4. I don't know, I just find that interesting they've managed to release that many iterations of Ride. I guess they've improved it a lot since the first one, perhaps? I don't know. Yeah, Ride 4 is coming out on the 21st of Jan. Bladed Fury is coming out on the 22nd of January. I personally hadn't heard of this one. It appears to be a Japanese 2D side-scrolling game that's coming across to the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Pulled up the synopsis to give me a hand with this one. Bladed Fury is a classic 2D action game based on Chinese mythology with an accompanying traditional art style and sound design with a dash of surrealism added to the mix. Featuring a fluid combat system, a high-octane combo system, and a plethora of ancient enemies and deities to destroy, Bladed Fury is a truly addictive action game, and that's from the game's official blurb itself. So some sort of 2D action game focusing on combat. Based on the trailer here, I would say focusing probably a little bit more on narrative than combat, but that's just me. The last game, if we get to the free game, is the Pedestrian. This one here doesn't actually have a date, it's just got January on it as of the last trailer. This was revealed during the State of Play earlier on in the year, and you play as the little pedestrian man that you see on street signs, and he goes through different signs, and you have to create the puzzle so you can move along. It looks actually really cool, stylistic, sort of 2D side-scroller puzzle style game. It actually looks really neat. This one here is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most out of all the games coming out in January so far. So the Pedestrian coming out at some point in January TBC at the moment. This one here, it's interesting because this one here reminds me of the Salaryman, which was a PlayStation VR game released a couple of years ago. It's a similar sort of vibe and style to that game, hence probably why it reminds me of it, but obviously nothing to do with that. That's just me. And the free game I wanted to talk about was Vigor. Now this game actually came out in December, so it's been out for a few weeks at this point, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it in December because of all the other videos that were coming out and because of all the sale videos I was doing. So I thought now's probably a good time to include it. I didn't want to make a separate video about Vigor either. It didn't feel like it needed a whole video. Vigor is a third-person shooter-style game developed by Bohemia, which are the developers of DayZ. You guys might remember that survival game that was really big on the PC, came out on consoles and didn't really do too much because it came out a little bit too late. But Vigor looks like a battle royale game on the offshoot, but it's actually not a battle royale game. It's more of a looter shooter, I suppose. I don't even know if I like that term. Let me describe what. So the game actually reminds me a lot of Hunt. It feels very similar to Hunt in terms of its objectives. Now, it doesn't look like Hunt, or it's not anything like Hunt, except the way that the objectives play out. Now, the purpose of the game is you go into the map and you have to collect as much loot and gear as you can. Then you have to extract with that gear, and that's how you level up and you progress. Now, the crux of it, again, same as Hunt, is that players can come in and they can prevent you from doing that by killing you. So there is a component of PvE against NPCs, but then PvP, it's just PvP, there's no PvP. PvP with player versus player in there as well. So players can choose to hunt other players and take their gear. Players can choose to just hunt NPCs, take that equipment and extract and leave. Players can just leave. You know, there's lots of different ways you can play the game. The way it works, if you die, you lose all your gear. Obviously that person picks up your gear and they can then decide to extract, or maybe they get killed by somebody else. But that's basically how it works. So it sort of has sort of battle royale elements in there. It's got third-person survival elements in there. Like I said, very much like Hunt in terms of mechanics, which is go into the map, hunt for the thing, take the thing, and extract. Except in this one here, you're not hunting a gruesome beast. That's Vigor. I don't know, maybe you guys have played some of it already. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. It doesn't have a platinum trophy, sadly. Just like DayZ didn't either. I don't know why Bohemia didn't add a platinum trophy to this game. It's kind of disappointing, I would say. I didn't really know much about it, and I downloaded it onto my console, and I haven't tried it myself. But after doing more research into what it actually is, I'm like, this sounds interesting. I originally thought it was just another battle royale, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing just another battle royale game. I've done plenty of those. This kind of concept does sound more interesting to me, so I might check it out. Let me know if you guys are keen. Anyway, that is 6 new games coming out for January on the PlayStation ecosystem, plus 1 free game. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a thumbs down, as always. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Thanks so much for watching.